Okay, guys, you are welcome back to my channel, and we continue with our exposure therapies, right? In this episode, we will talk about the three major types of exposure therapy, or we'll talk about three types. Yes, we're going to talk about one that goes using a gradual process, that is systematic desensitization by Joseph Wood, 1958, and I want to go straight with that. Yes, so the systematic desensitization therapy by Joseph Whoop, 1958. Yeah, so you remember that we said that this could be imaginary or in vivo, and we say this one is a gradual one, it's not intense, right? So I'll point out, okay, very important again to point out that this systematic desensitization uses principle of classical conditioning and some principles of social learning because of the cognitive aspect of it and everything. So we'll see that in action. Now, remember the principles we discussed in those theories. It will help you understand this course, this technique. And you remember the assumption we said that these exposure therapies believe that anxiety and relaxation cannot be in the same boat. Yes. Remember, this is very important technique we are discussing today. Now, watch it. Gradual, systematic, step by step. The words are almost synonymous. So what am I saying? That systematic desensitization is a therapeutic technique that follows a gradual or step-by-step procedure in exposing clients to the feared stimulus. The intent of this technique is to while exposing the client to the feared stimulus or the fear-evoking stimulus, the client is taught how the skills to relax, and eventually the relaxation would replace the anxiety, right? So, and I pointed out also that it follows the principle of classical conditioning, right? So it is systematic, it is gradual, it is step by step, right? And it follows the principle of classical conditioning by Joseph Whoop, 1958. Yeah, what again am I looking at there before we continue? So please flow with me. We should point out here also that it has been very effective in treating of phobias, specific phobias, right? Yes, very important. And this technique can be done using imaginary technique or in vivo technique. Imaginary technique, I will do it here. You understand that because you will need to do it even in your exams. For those of you that is going to listen to this as a exam for exam purposes, yes. So it can also be in vivo. I said it before. Now, what again? That is it. So there are three major steps. Please, very important. Three major steps in systematic desensitization. One is muscle relaxation training. Number two is hierarchical construction. And three is desensitization proper. These are the three steps. And remember, this is at a point that the client and the therapist has reached therapeutic alliance, informed consent, and everything has been read, principle of confidentiality has been promised and signed. Everybody have understood we are using systematic. Both of them have agreed that the client also will be an active participant and will play a role in this modification of behavior. And to get rid of this snake, we have to work together. Okay, the anxiety for this, for example, the snake, right? So they are in, right? Now, we know that therapies, we deal with therapeutic sessions. Initially, dream and graduates, most times you see me writing the word section like SECT, therapeutic sections, but no, it's sessions, SESSION. I hope it's double S there. Okay, yeah. So therapeutic sessions will go from the first day after the therapeutic alliance and everything, and the second day you guys will continue with the first step where we deal with the muscle relaxation therapy, right? Muscle relaxation training. We know of what is it called? Joseph Jacobson, 1938, has his muscle relaxation therapy. In one of the videos, I want to make a practical video on the muscle relaxation training, skills of muscle relaxation training. So, but for the client and the therapists, they have to start this with a recorder involved, right? So the therapist will tell the client, okay, now we are going to learn how to do muscle relaxation. Are you with me? So I would expect you to do this. Now stretch your hand. Okay, I'll count to 10 seconds and then you raise it down, then repeat it again. Okay, they will go from step to step. I'll do that later. Then as this is going on, the therapist has placed the thing on record, right? Now after that is done, the client is told, oh, good job, now you will be given this recorder. You are expected to practice this at home, and please, when you are practicing at home, the client in this time, even at home, is expected to disabuse his mind. Am I using the right word? Like total disengagement from other shows. Like, don't, you know, that mindset, I don't know who has the right word there. So that point, you are like, okay, so let me practice this my therapeutic session. Let me go and watch my favorite series on television. Oh, it's time for news. Let me do and go and sleep. Or let me do this. Oh, let me do and go and cook before my children come back. Right? No. You must not have in mind that something else will come, or let me just do it. No. Disabuse your mind from any other thing, right? Then on the recorder, then play everything and practice it. Now you will understand that it's important to also note here that if you are writing an exam, if this is given to you as a theory exam, you understand that you pointed out that this session can last up to 6 therapeutic sessions. If you watch what I said in this muscle relaxation, I said it's by Jacobson 1938, and I said each step takes like 10 seconds. It's repeated up to 5 times. Yeah, I will please give another video on that. It's going to be interesting. Yeah, this is something we do in master's level, or right. So, but it will be interesting to be acquainted with what happens there. So that is the first step, and like I said, 6 sessions has gone already, and point it out when you're writing that this sixth session at that time, although the client might not have gotten mastery of this training, but he or she must have come to that level that they can proceed to the next stage. He or she has gotten an understanding and learning that he or she can use the skill, muscle relaxation skill, effectively, not in the mastered level. So at that point, you move to the next stage, therapeutic stage in systematic sensation, that is hierarchical construction, right? In hierarchical construction, the therapist and the client create what we call SUDS in capital. SUDS, suits. subjective unit of discomfort scale, SUDS, subjective unit of discomfort scale. That is what we do here. So it's almost like a questionnaire. So you and the client will agree, and you point out, you tell the client, okay, now please, I want you to respond to me from 0 to 100. To which extent do this evoke your fear or anxiety, right? So you start with, remember I said imaginary or in vivo. We are doing imaginary at this point, right? So imagine we are, let me use I'm in the library, right? Imagine you are in the library as we are here, right, in the therapeutic room, and then there is a snake. You hear there's a snake in outside in the market. To which extent? You say 10%. What if you hear the snake is by the library gate? Oh, that is 40%. And then what if you hear if you imagine that the snake is by the door of this library? Oh my God, that is 60%, the anxiety. And then imagine the snake is on this table. That is 100%. I'm trying to create it in your exams. If you are going to do this, very practical. This year is a practical year. You would try to please imagine less so that you have a quick writing, right? So I have been able to create this subjective unit. Subjective in terms that it is subjective on how that is subjective to the client, how he or she feels, not my fear, but her fear. So to the market is that's a bus stop, right? Is 10%. We have 40%. We have 60%. We have 100%. In normal therapeutic session, this might be longer than this, right? So this is the subjective unit of discomfort scale that I've created. If we are going to take, I can do another, like imagine I show you this on a picture. To which extent? This in vivo now, right? You say 20%. Imagine I show you, or we are going to see it on the television. You say 30%, and you see me handle it 90%, and I want you to handle it 100%. So you guys have created this, and at this point we would want to go maybe if it's imaginary, when we get there we'll start it. If it's in vivo, when we get to the next stage we'll do it. So but you, in this stage, second stage, in this hierarchical construction, you see the hierarchy we have created. We call it the SUDS. So you discover that during therapeutic session that we don't start from top, we start from bottom up. It's a bottom up process. So that is for that stage. The next stage they will move to it, and that is the one we call desensitization proper. And now we have two things at hand. The client, on the other hand, have muscle relaxation skills, and the therapist, on the other hand, have what we call the SUDS, subjective discomfort scale, as responded by the client. Now we are in the desensitization proper, and I'm going to use imaginary. Okay, so you're welcome today. Perhaps this may be the 11th session, so that I'll have enough money, right? But you know, they pay session by session. You guys have agreed. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So now we can go into it, and the first session, the first unit here, we are having 10%. So I'll encourage the client, please remember your muscle relaxation skills. At any point you feel the anxiety coming up, please remember to practice it. You understand that clients are expected to have a good cognitive strength, right? Imaginary strength, let me use that word. Sometimes there are therapies that do not use muscle relaxation. They use they will tend to memorize or focus on sweet things that they remember and all of those things, right? But here we're using muscle relaxation now, right? So the client is encouraged, for those that know how to write practical exams, the client is encouraged to remember the muscle relaxation skill and to bring it up and use it during whenever he or she feel the anxiety popping up when he or she is exposed to the fear-evoking stimuli or stimulus, yeah, in this case. So are you ready, please? So now we have in our unit SUDS, we have, imagine it's at the gate, no, at the bus stop, right? So you can imagine, and you and the client will continue until maybe first session, second session, or maybe that day, that session, the client was able to relax when imagining a snake in the bus stop. Until that relaxation is acquired, you cannot go to the next level. If relaxation is not achieved, if that anxiety is not replaced by that relaxation, you cannot go to the next level. Now, the next one is by the gate. Are you ready? So let's go. And the client will, oh my word, oh my God. I'm just giving for example, right? Yeah, I'm still learning. I'm not yet a professional, so I've not had a okay, so now the anxiety comes with the whole physiological arousal and the agitation and the palpitation of the heartbeat, the sweat, and okay, calm down, remember your muscle relaxation, and the client is doing them, he's practicing them, and okay, oh no, I can't handle it anymore, I can't help it. Okay, you can stop it. Thank you. So we'll continue from here next time. Maybe you guys have done it 1, 2, 3, and the client is motivated, and the client must be encouraged, and the client must have self-efficacy. Remember those principles. I can do this. I know I can do it. Right? So all of those things must be in place. Now we continue till the next level, till the 100th level. No matter the therapeutic session, that's why you see some of them lasting for months and years, right? Before they are free from it. And exam anxiety, if that thing is achieved, that is a realization, then you find out that the client will be able to go back to that university, write his or exam, and come out with success. Yes. So this is the muscle relaxation, and as it has a role to play in systematic desensitization. And if we have used in vivo, so we may have to start with the picture. I'm holding it. If you are feeling anything, okay, can you watch it? Please, if you see if you remember your muscle relaxation, if the anxiety is popping up, right? So you remember that. We continue with the picture of a snake until relaxation is achieved or replaces the anxiety, right? Then we go on the television. We continue with that session after session, day after day, time after time, until relaxation is achieved. Then we may go to the next one, maybe 60% seeing it on a cage, right? The whole thing will continue until relaxation is. I'm sure this is very clear. You see why we say this technique is systematic, is gradual, is step by step, from step lowest fear evoking to the second higher fear evoking to the higher, to the highest, to the ultimate, the most fear evoking stage, right? This is systematic desensitization by Joseph Whoop. I hope this sounds interesting to you guys. So if you're having anxiety disorder, if you're having specific phobia, if you're having any phobia for anything, please, you can contact me at 070-322-61791 for your therapies, and then, or you email me at chidoze.obiano.201176@unn.edu.ng. Yes, you will be glad to have them back to us. So God bless you, and please remember to subscribe, like, and share. If you have not, please don't contact me yet. God bless you guys. See you on the other video.